Hi everyone, welcome to Beauty First in 10. I love makeup and I love football and I post weekly about both, so please hit subscribe. So today we're going to be doing a beauty video and we are going to be doing a Cinco de Mayo inspired look. So, for the Mexican flag, that's kind of what we're going to use for inspiration. So the green, white, and red that shows up on the flag we'll use in our makeup. And if you don't know, Cinco de Mayo is the Mexican victory over the Second French Empire under Napoleon III in 1862. So it's a pretty big holiday in America, but not really a huge holiday in Mexico. But nonetheless, if you're going to any Cinco de Mayo events, hopefully you'll get some inspiration from this look. So let's get started. So today I'm going to be using a foundation. So I'm going to use the Cali Ray Free Dreaming, and this is in shade 4. It's just a little bit of a glow, and so I like this foundation. If you don't have this one, the Yummy Skin also has a little bit of a glow to it as well, and I also wear 4 in that. And then I have on already my skincare. So I put on the Bora Bora Barrier Repair Cream, and then I put on my Merit Great Skin Serum. This is so nice because it's really glowy. And then I put on my Glow Recipe Drops just to kind of warm things up a little bit and give a little bit of life to my face because it might be getting warmer outside, but my face isn't getting any brighter. So we'll go ahead and start with the foundation. Okay, so for the foundation, one of the things I've been doing recently is I've just been putting in the palm of my hand and then using my brush to just kind of really stipple and get this in. It gives a little bit more of a flawless appearance to your foundation, but you do have to really kind of work this in with a pretty significant amount of pressure. So we'll go ahead and we're gonna apply that, and we're just gonna put this all over. So we'll just get started on that. Okay, so now that we've got that all over, you can see that kind of gives just a nice glow. We're just going to blot that a little bit with a makeup sponge just to kind of press it in place, get it into all the pores and make it look a little more seamless. And I did also put on my eyebrow pencil, so that was also done beforehand because that's not really Cinco de Mayo inspired. Okay, so next we're gonna move on to the fun parts. Okay, and then I'm just gonna use my House Labs highlighter powder in Chocolate Opal. I'm just gonna put this kind of all over just to give a little bit of a bronzy appearance. A lot of times I find that with those glow drops, they tend to not really stay around very well once you put foundation on, but they do make a nice base, like if you're just doing concealer and those glow drops, I find that works pretty well. So we're just gonna put a little bit of this. I use this often as a bronzer, even though it's technically a highlighter. I got this really dark color and it works just really well. Okay, so next we're gonna start on eyeshadow. So we're gonna use the Mexican flag as our guide. So we're gonna use red on the inner corner, white in the center, and then green on that outer corner. So as far as reds go, you probably have a red or, somewhat of a red color that's already in your eyeshadow palettes. So this one is Christmas Coffee by Too Faced, and I'm gonna be using this kind of maroon shade, but this does really show up as red. You also have, if you were like me and bought the Wicked palette, then you have a whole selection of greens for the green section. And then I also have this one called Dancing Green, and this is by Essence. It was like $4. And this one has a bunch of green shades as well that you can use. So we're gonna be using those. But if you don't have any red, because I think that was the harder one for me to find in my current collection, then you can also use some of the items that we're gonna use for blush. So this is Watermelon Bliss, and this is by House Labs. And this I also tested out, and this worked well also as the red shade. So if you have a red powder blush, then you can also use that as your eyeshadow. Things are very interchangeable. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and use this one in the Christmas Coffee. So just gonna get a little pigment on my brush, and then I'm just gonna kind of brush this inside corner here and just get a nice red pigment so that you can clearly tell I've got red there, and then just blend it towards the center. And then on the other eye, I'll go ahead and use the House Labs product so you can see kind of the difference there. And so for this one, I'm just gonna kind of, again, using the same brush, obviously, so there'll be a little bit of transfer. And using kind of a fluffier brush so that I'm not getting too much pigment there, but you can see the difference there. So, you know, they both work fine. So if you have a reddish colored blush, then feel free to use that as well. Then for the middle section, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use this kind of like off-white color in the Dancing Green palette, but any white or, you know, creamish color will work well. And then we're just gonna line that whole middle section there to give us the white stripe in the flag. And their flag has a eagle on the center as well, which I'm good, but I'm not that good. I'm not gonna be painting an eagle onto me. But if you have a sticker or something, that'd be fun. Okay, and then the next part we're gonna do is the green part, which, you know, you have a lot of different options. I'm again gonna use the Dancing Green palette, but I did try the Wicked palette too, and that worked fine. So I'm gonna be using this darker shade in the Essence palette, and just gonna get a little bit on there because we don't wanna overdo it. And this does have, you know, I will say, you know, a little bit of an Italian vibe to it because they have similar colors as well. But, you know, it's on May 5th, so people will figure it out. Okay, so you can see there, so I've got the green, white, and red on both of those eyes. So it looks a little strange. We're gonna blend it just a little bit, but you do wanna kind of keep that pretty well defined. So I'm gonna pull the green up into the transition area on this. There we go. Just to give a little bit of cohesion there. So that way it's a little bit more blended out, and then we're just gonna kind of blur these two lines between in the red and the white a little bit more. You could certainly leave it a little bit stark, but you can see there that you've still got the flag coloration there. And then for our eyeliner, I'm gonna use this one by NYX, and this is their Vivid Rich pencil, and this is in Emerald Empire. So we're just gonna line, kind of tight line here. So with the tight lining, I'm just going directly over those lash lines. So kind of in between the lashes rather than above. So you can see that there. And then I'm just gonna do ever so slight across the main line here. Okay. And then to be extra, because I often like to be extra, we're gonna use this Ico Lash Alert mascara, and this is in green. So colored mascara is very fun, and I've been enjoying a lot of colors. So we're gonna put this one on. And when you're doing colored mascara, it's always better to brush kind of the top of the lash and then go from underneath to up above. And I did a little kind of master class on everything you'd need to know about mascara, and I'll link that in the comment section or up in the corner here and then down below. Okay, and then the other side. Okay, so you can see this is kind of our lash look here. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a blush. Lots of choices in blush. So I have this one by Good Apple, and this is an Immortal Apple, so it's gonna be this red shade here. We already talked about the Haas Labs in Watermelon Bliss. And then if you wanna go for more of a cream option, Glossier Cloud Paint has this one in Spark. So you can use this one as well. So I think we're actually gonna go with the Immortal Apple on one side, and then maybe we'll go ahead and do the House Labs on the other side. That way you can see a cream versus a powder situation. So for this cream, this is very pigmented. So you do have to be kind of careful with this. So I'm gonna use my sponge that I use to kind of press in my foundation. And we're just gonna apply this here, and you can see I barely touched that. And I'm probably gonna have enough for both sides of my face. So cream blush can be a little tricky to use. So we're gonna go ahead and try to see if we can blend this out a little bit better on this side, and then kind of do the apples of the cheeks. And then we'll go ahead and do the House Lab powder over top. And this is another really pigmented blush. The one thing I will say about the House Labs that I don't like is it's a little bit patchy on application. And so I do feel like I have to kind of work this a little bit more than the average blush that I use. But I do like the color, it's very pretty. So there you can see, it does have a pink tone to it, but it's definitely more red than most of my other blushes that I tried out to see how they would look for this look. For lip products, we have several different options going from dramatic to more dramatic, somewhat. So the one I'm going to start out with is this NYX gloss, and this is in This Is Everything. And it's just a nice little light touch, so this is probably something I would wear on an average day as well. So it's just got a little bit of a red tint to it. It's not super dramatic, but it's a nice clean look, and it lends more to giving a little bit more emphasis to the eyes that we did a lot with. But you could go in two other directions. So you could go certainly for a very dramatic red, or I use this in my St. Patrick's Day video, and you can use green. So I'm going to use the green one. I'm going to put this on off camera because this can be tricky if I don't concentrate with these liquid ones. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so this is the green one. And again, this is by NYX. And you can see it kind of balances everything out, I think. It always looks better to me when I pout. But I've worn this a couple times. And surprisingly, give it a try. It does take a minute to get used to it. But you might say, Debbie, this doesn't work for me at all. It's gotta be red. So then I got you. Okay, so here's the red lip, and this is by ColourPop, and this is Risk Taker. This is their ultra matte one. So you can see there, I mean, the red, you know, is very classic, but I just wanted to give you another option with the green. I would say that when this dries down, it looks a little bit better if you throw a gloss back over it. And then we're just gonna apply a little bit of powder as well. So I've been testing out this Hourglass powder, and this is their translucent medium, and this is their Vanish finishing powder. I'm undecided. I do feel like I like it, and then I think I get influenced because so many other people online hate it, but I do think it gives a nice blurring appearance. So you can see there, it just kind of evened everything out. We were getting a little too shiny. And then I'm just gonna go back with a little bit of blush again, just to pat that back down and give that there. So now there's one extra step that we're gonna do. So and you can feel free to leave this step out, but I thought it was too fun, so I wanted to try it again. And I've tried this a couple times. It does require a little bit of a steady hand. But we're gonna put a little flag on the cheek, and I thought it looked cute. It does pull Italian again, kind of like the eye look, but I thought it was fun. So we're just gonna put a stripe here. And then what I'm gonna use for the white part, I didn't have any white, but I do have this Caliray Hideaway pink concealer, and this is very, very light. So this acts as the white. It does have a little bit of a brighter wand, so you have to be a little careful. Okay, and then I've got the white there, and then I'm gonna use the red that I used for the lip, the ColourPop. And, you know, it's a cute little flag. So it's something simple that you can do, probably more of a going to a parade situation than maybe just sitting at home. I will say though, that you do want to set this. So give it a little bit of time to dry, but then put a little bit of powder over it because it'll stay kind of tacky throughout the day if you don't do that. So this is our look. I think it looks great. I think it's very ready to go, ready to eat some nachos and some salsa and have a margarita or two. So I will have down in the description box below all the products that I used to create this look so that you can recreate it. But I think you probably have most of this stuff at home, maybe the red lipstick. But if you have a red lip balm or something like that, I think it also achieves a similar thing that I used earlier. So I hope everybody has a great Cinco de Mayo, and may the 4th be with you. Happy shopping.